Hey, my name is Joe Polyak, local San Francisco Bay Area real estate agent with Rise Homes. And I wanted to welcome you to a quick video that we're doing where we're going to walk through one of our latest listings, 513 Oxford Street in the Portola neighborhood of San Francisco, where we did our usual listing preparation work. And so I just want to do a quick walkthrough with you guys and just show you some of the stuff that we regularly do and what we did to this property to help ensure that we get the highest possible sales price for our sellers to help them net more money from the sale. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, let me start on our philosophy generally. Is oftentimes when we come into a house and, there's a lot of objects and there's a lot of deferred maintenance, like there was in this property when we first came in. The main thing that we're focused on, and what I believe the sellers usually are focused on, is what's going to maximize their return on investment. Where are they going to net the most money from the sale of the home? And so what we try to do is identify those things that are going to be a good investment. Generally speaking, we try our best to invest somewhere in the $40 or $50, maybe even $60,000 range in order to help net the seller at least an additional, six figures, at least another 100,000, maybe even more, 150,000 from the sale. And so let's start with the entrance area naturally where we enter the house. So here's the front door. We don't do a full remodel and we don't do like a really big project. We do what is going to be quick, but still have a good return for the seller. So first things first, here there was an old tile floor, and tile is a good desirable material, but this one was outdated. And so we just changed this foyer area, which is a relatively inexpensive job, to this luxury vinyl plank that is kind of like a tile looking material, and it's modern, it's nice, and it's neutral. So that's first. So let's kind of get moving. So as you see, obviously some of the basics include painting, right? So we painted a nice off-white neutral color, and that already brightens the space up quite a bit. It's very bright, it's very open, and it feels very welcoming and warm, and a nice place that potential buyers can come in and see themselves living. And if you look at the pictures and the video from before, it felt very dark, it felt very closed, and it felt very cluttered. So by painting a nice neutral color, we really open up the space. And also with utilizing an off-white neutral color, that allows people to come in and visualize themselves living at a property rather than seeing the previous owner living here. So the next thing that we always do is we look at the floors and what we're going to do with the floors. So as you saw in the foyer area, we changed out the tile floor to a nice luxury vinyl. Well, wherever we have these original hardwood floors, which is a oak material, I don't know if it's a white oak or what kind generally, but it's an oak material. What we do is we bring in our sand and stain refinish guy who basically sands down the old floors, looks at areas where there might be water damage, replaces those planks, and replaces those areas that are damaged, sands it down, makes everything nice and even, and then gives it a nice couple of coats of stain and coating. So for this one, I actually think we didn't even stain it. What we did is just kept the natural color, which is a nice light color, nice and neutral, and we just put a coat, I believe, of a satin finish. So it's not the glossy finish, which was popular maybe a little while ago. So just by doing those two things, that's a really big improvement in how bright, how open, how neutral and nice and spacious the space looks. And obviously we bring in the staging furniture, professional staging in here to really showcase the house. One of the philosophies on selling a home is that, I give an example of a Rolex. Let's say you have two Rolexes and they're identical and they're both brand new and never been worn before, and they're just, a beautiful Submariner Rolex watch. Now, let's say one is for sale in the Rolex store in Las Vegas, and the other one is for sale at a pawn shop. But they're identical and have not been, never been out of the box and in excellent shape and, the same exact watch. Which one would you expect to pay more for? Obviously, the Rolex store, because of the presentation. And this is the same thing with the homes that we sell. Our goal is to give it that Rolex store, Louis Vuitton store, luxury presentation so that buyers feel that they really need to come in and put their best foot forward so that we maximize the sale price for our sellers. So moving on, let's take a look at the kitchen. So a few other things that we generally regularly do is we change out all of the knobs. I don't know what these little things are called. The hinges, let's see if we can see them here. The hinges and door stoppers, light switches, the actual whole switch, not just the cover, outlets, the full outlets. So we change all of these minor details, including also light fixtures. Let me see if we can. So we put in nice, modern looking, again, try our best to do something kind of neutral that we feel the largest number of people will like, light fixtures. And so we do these things so that we can really fix all of the little details, because sometimes you'll see people painted, they did the floors, they did the big things, but they didn't take care of the little things. And it really looks messed up when you come in here and you have this yellowing, dirty light switch or an old, rusty, mismatched doorknobs. People think, well, if they did all this stuff, why don't they just do the rest of the stuff? And what you want buyers to think about when they're inside of a home, because oftentimes they're only touring a home for 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. One of the primary things the main things you want them to think about during this short period of time is visualizing themselves living in the home and what it's going to be like to live here, and create an emotional attachment to the home rather than thinking about, oh, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do this? Because that's all they're going to remember. That's all their neural pathways. I'm about to get like scientific here. Is their neural pathways form connections, and those are memories, and you want those memories to be pleasant and, wow, I really want to live there, create an emotional attachment to the property. I want to write a crazy offer, let's make this happen, versus, do you remember those nasty light switches and old light fixtures that we have to change and all this work we have to do, etc. So these are small and simple items. This is not rocket science, but it is just going that extra step and understanding the psychology of home buyers, the highest paying home buyers, the people who are willing to give you the highest price for the property, that is going to make the difference. Now, one of the things you'll see is that the windows are older. And so that's one of the options that we give our clients to say, hey, it might make sense to update all the windows. The problem is that due to the pandemic and due to the supply chain issues right now, a turnaround time for all these windows in this house would be upwards of 2 months at this point, from order until installation, more than 2 months at this point. And that's number one, is that it would have caused a big delay. So already our sellers said, hey, we don't want to do that. But also, it is a pricey thing. I think for the whole house to replace the windows would have been more than $20,000, if not even closer to 30, because there's a lot of unique and kind of custom sizes for the windows as well. You'll see in the front and here. And San Francisco also has unique rules and ordinances, the city of San Francisco, for their requirements for front-facing, street-facing windows, and that ends up being a lot more expensive than just regular vinyl windows. So for that reason, we decided not to do that. If we had more time and a higher budget, I may have recommended to do it, because I do think there's a pretty good return on investment to do that work. But at the end of the day, you have to balance your options and decide what's going to be the best for the client. And the client makes the decision ultimately based on the options and the different scenarios that we put in front of them. So a few more things, if we can kind of close up quickly here, is so this is a tile that has been here for a while. And when we came in here, it was in relatively good shape. And so there's a couple of things that you can do here. Number one is it's a little bit older. So one of the things that you can do is you can gut the tile counter and the backsplash over here, and you can update that into something nice and modern. Now, again, that takes more time and that's more money. And you know, that's something that we do sometimes. But the thing is that this tile was already in pretty good shape. There are a few little cracks and things like that, but overall it was in good shape. So instead what we did is we brought in a tile re-grout person who basically rejuvenates the old tile. They clean everything up, they grout everything, if you can kind of see the details there, and they just refresh it. And that's a lot cheaper than doing a full, new counter and new backsplash. And at the end of the day, there's a pretty good chance that somebody's going to do a more major remodel here and redo the floor plan of this kitchen entirely. Maybe knock down a wall, who knows? So we don't necessarily want to invest too much money where we're not going to see a good return for our client. And again, we don't have multiple worlds where we can compare, well, did this work better or did that work better? We only have one shot to do our best. So, you know, we're not always necessarily making the right decision, but with our client, with our contractors, and with us, we do our best and make the best decision at the time. So, and we feel that this was the best decision. So they already had good appliances here. So they already had these double oven in the wall. They already had, this is an updated LG. The Kenmore hood is okay, and a Kenmore dishwasher. So it's already in good shape. And again, we use the same floors here as we did for the foyer. So perfect, let's head on in. Okay. So as we move upstairs, one of the things that I really love about this house, and one of the most important things that you need to do when you're prepping homes for sale, is really think about what are the unique features of the house that you're trying to make stand out when you're prepping it for sale. And you want to accentuate those features to make sure that buyers really notice them. So let's come on up, and one of the things we do is we always make sure to just be very direct and say, hey, take a look. We're on the top floor of this property, and one thing you'll notice is there's a lot of skylights. So you already have a lot of skylights, you already have a lot of natural light coming in. I turned the light on so that it's brighter for the camera, but even if I turn it off, let's give it a shot. The light hasn't even changed. It is completely bright. So we can even leave that light off. Again, we install light fixtures, and as you see, we've started using these low profile. They're very nice. They almost look like recessed lighting. A lot of people think they are, actually. So this is a 4-bed, 2-bathroom house upstairs. And we can just go into this one bedroom here. We don't need to go through all of them. But the bedroom is a good size. It fits a queen size bed, has a good closet, has nice views, you're high up, and it's just very, very bright. There's not a single light on here, and it's light on both sides of the house because it's high up, because the painting and the floors definitely brighten it up, and if you see it compared to what it used to be. One of the things I'm going to talk about the flooring again is that this property unfortunately had a lot of water damage on the flooring. So our floor guy really had to repair and rejuvenate a lot of the wood, and it ended up costing more than we initially thought or bid after he pulled up the carpet and saw the condition of the floors. But at the end of the day, it's very worth it to have the original natural wood and have it be close, very close to its natural color and just in really good shape. So I think it turned out really well, and I'm very happy of how nice and bright it is up here. So let's pop into this hall now. So a few of the most important things when looking at properties, or when people are looking at properties, the few things that they look at quickly, right away, are kitchens and bathrooms. They want to see the condition of the bathrooms. And so redoing bathrooms. As you see, this bathroom is a little bit dated, right? So what we did is we painted the kitchen cabinet, the bathroom cabinets, and also I didn't mention earlier, we painted the kitchen cabinets as well to brighten that up. But we repainted the cabinets, we did the grout refresh, and we changed the toilet. And that's about it. And the reason is that that's a lot less expensive than doing a bathroom remodel. Now, again, we present that option to our clients and say, hey, we can do a full kitchen remodel. We can do full bathroom remodels. That's something we can manage and coordinate and make this very modern and bring it to life. But again, that is time, more money, and permits. And many people decide, they want to sell the house a little bit quicker and get their best ROI that they can, return on investment. And so many opt to just do kind of the more basic freshen up. And so this is a really good medium. Maybe I should put this toilet in that this is a, we have a brand new toilet. We freshened everything up and it's still nice and bright and it's livable and everything is usable, right? Everything works. It's just not necessarily aesthetically the most modern looking bathroom. But I think we found a good balance.